And welcome back to Hesston, Kansas. Don Binkson with you for tonight's game, assisted by Mike Rose and all his video equipment. We're streaming live here at live.smokyvalley.org. It was good to briefly talk with one of my boys, his classmates from 2001 high school, Ryan Roth. He's got a nephew playing here tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But for the girls tonight, for the Vikings, 2 points Kira Haxton, 2 points Carrington Haxton, 2 points Lana Clark, 4 points Bree Franklin, 5 points Ashton Bryant, 5 points Jordan Otto, 5 points Jackie Hulse. For the Swathers, 2 points Dirksen, 2 points Clausen, 7 points Dunleavy, 7 points Weber, 6 points Schilling, 6 points Enge, and then in double figures 10 for Kaiser and 14 for Kaylee Jo Ince. 23 out of 31 free throws for Hesston. A difference in the ball game, really, as they knocked down and got to shoot way too many free throws. The boys' action now. The Vikings come in with a 2-1 record. They lost their opening game by the score of 85-67. Came back at home against Southeast of Saline and came away with a 58-52 victory. And then Friday night against Concordia. Concordia just got off to a super start. They led the Vikings 18-8 after one quarter, but then the Vikings held them to only 19 points the rest of the way. The Vikings went on to lead by 1 at halftime, 23-22, increased their lead 34-27 in the third quarter, and then went on to win 44-37. They were paced by 18 points each from Nick Reinert and Jacob Adams. It was good to see Jacob Adams come out and score and play so very well. Had a chance to talk with Doug Snyder early. We'll play that for you right now. Welcome back to more Viking pregame. Don Binks along with Coach Doug Snyder. As you make the trip to Hesston, it's always a difficult place to play, and they're really a basketball-oriented town.
They are, and I think our guys always get hyped up to play these guys, and they get hyped up to play us, and it creates a nice basketball atmosphere. And last year we split with them, but unfortunately our game here was not very pretty, and I don't think our game 2 years ago here was very pretty. But we play good teams every year early in the season to make ourselves better later in the season. And that's, again, the priority here is to play a good Hesston team that comes in here like you and I were talking at 3-1. They play well together. They're quick. They guard and defend well. So they're definitely going to present some challenges tonight and some things we need to make sure we adjust to.
But after the first quarter against Concordia Friday night, you really played a good defensive 3 quarters.
Yeah, I thought defensively we really grew a lot, and the goal for us now is to transfer that into the next game. It's easy to say we do things well in one game, but can we sustain it into other games? And so that's going to be another test for us tonight. And being without Brett again tonight, puts us a little step behind in the scoring column. So somebody's either going to have to step up and do that, or we're going to have to step up defensively and do more of what we did last time. I think there's some more weapons here in this Hesston team that we need to take care of. But I think we also, like we said last game, did some things that made us better. Jacob Adams shot the ball really well from the floor and ended with 18 points. I thought Ben had a nice floor game last game. So it's going to be important for guys to step up and fill their roles this evening.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how everybody just gets the first game without Brett. Now you get a second game, so you define your roles a little bit more. How about a couple of keys to victory?
Keys to victory are important. We got to make sure we handle runs. They're a team that likes to go on a lot of runs, as they have in the past, and we've got to make sure we're strong with the ball early and don't turn the ball over and give them easy points. I think maintaining our poise and our composure early is going to be really important too, making sure that we sustain what we want to do throughout the whole game, and we of course have to get rebounds and play defense.
Sounds like a plan, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
Doug Snyder of the Vikings. That was Coach Doug Snyder and his thoughts on tonight's game, and it's going to be a battle. Hesston, in their last 2 games, they won over Garden Plain by the score of 56-42. They did get beat by Rose Hill by the score of 53-52. So they're well capable of scoring a lot of points, but they're maybe not quite as good as they've been in other years, but seems like Hesston at Hesston is always a tough matchup for the Vikings. So Vikings are led in scoring by Brett Heitschmidt, but he's going to miss his second game. He's scoring 21.5 points per game. Nick Reinert right behind him at 19.7 points per game. Jacob Adams has got his average after that 18-point outburst Friday night, has got his average up to 9 points per game. 7.3 points per game for Ben Weldy, and then 2.5 points a game for Lane Schrog and 2.3 for Zach Abel. Vikings are shooting 81% from the free throw line as a team. Ben Weldy 5 of 6, Jacob Adams 5 of 7, Lane Schrog 1 of 1, and then Brett Heitschmidt 10 of 12, and Nick Reinert 13 out of 15 on the individual free throw shooting. So that's a little bit of a statistical wrap for you. We're about 3 minutes away from the start of the game, and we're working on getting the starting lineups here. I have the Vikings starting lineups, but I'll have to get Heston's for you, so we'll pause for just a moment for that.
Donnie, while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and run another video from Carson.
Perfect.
Carson Byers here to ask Core as many questions as I can in 30 seconds. You ready to go? Mm-hmm. Core, what's your favorite food?
Prime rib.
What's your favorite restaurant in Lindsborg?
Ooh, the Stuga.
What's your favorite sandwich you get at the Stuga?
The Brent Nelson.
What's your favorite class?
Ooh, probably woodshop.
What's your favorite movie?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Who's your favorite professional athlete?
Jordy Nelson.
What's your favorite team?
Green Bay.
What's your favorite sport?
Probably football.
What's your favorite football memory?
The team bonding.
Yep. And we're at Hesston, where the Vikings are ready to take on the Hesston Swathers. The Hesston Swathers are coached by MAYB guru Greg Raleigh, and an assistant, one of his young guys that played college ball at Bethel College, Matt Flaming. He also works for MAYB. And a new coach on the sideline. You maybe don't know him, but I've known him for about 30 years, Roger Trimmel. He was coach at Mac College for years and years, retired, went to Canton Galva for a couple years and coached there. And now he's gone over here to coach at Hesston. So what knowledge that he brings to the hardwood for all those years worth of coaching, and great guy, just a wonderful person, and just what they needed, another very knowledgeable person for. Yeah, that is their coaching staff. Roger Trimmel, the gray-haired guy on the right, Greg Raleigh, the one in the middle, and Matt Fleming with the beard on the left-hand side. So all good friends of mine, and like I said before, when the league, you get to know all these guys doing all the radio action for years and years, it's fun to get to know these guys a little bit and learn a little bit about them, and they're great guys, so it is fun to be involved in high school sports. I think we did the national anthem early, so maybe before the band starts playing and all the cheering starts, I'll do our starters for the Vikings. Nick Reinert, 6' senior, he wears number 3. Zach Abel, a 6'1" senior, he wears number 5. Blake Hebel gets the start tonight. He's a 6' junior, he wears number 23. Jacob Adams, a 6'4" senior, he wears number 24, and Ben Weldy, a 6'4" senior, he wears number 42. So for Coach Snyder, assisted by Alan Meyer and Dayton Walter, he'll send out Weldy, Adams, Hebel, Abel, and Reinert. And for the Hesston Swathers, they'll send out number 1, Cameron Cox. He's a 5'9" junior. Number 5, Mitchell Martin. He's a 5'11" senior. Number 10, Grady Taves. He's a 6'1" junior. He wears number 10. Reese Nebel. He's a 6' senior. He wears number 14. And number 24, Blake Martin. He's a 6'6" junior. Before Coach Raleigh, assisted by Flaming and Trimmel. Martin, Nebel, Taves, Martin, and Cox. Wonder if Martin and Martin are related. We'll soon find out, I guess. Vikings in their road black uniforms, white lettering, white numerals, trimmed in orange. Orange and black striping down the side with a Viking logo on the side. And Hesston in their all-white home uniforms with red lettering, red numerals, and a little bit of red and black around the bottom of their shorts. And it's the Vikings and the Swathers here to do action, girls action. Smoky Valley girls lost by the score of 54-25. College final for you, Friends 75, Kansas Wesleyan 56. Hoping to get a final from Bethany. El Saline final 45, Ellenwood 33. Well, here somebody's going to end up with their second loss after tonight. Ben Weldy will be jumping against number 14. That is Reese Nebel, and the Vikings control the opening tip. We're underway. Enjoy tonight's basketball game. Man-to-man defense by the Swathers. Here's Nick Reinert on the dribble drive, and good. No, they're going to call it off. Nick Reinert gets called for the charging foul. Wave the basket off. Rich Snyder trying to bend the ear of the official, but he's not listening to him. Here comes Cox with it. Gets it off to number 5, Martin. Around the top to Nebel, back to Cox, far side wing. Vikings man-to-man. Nebel with it. Around it goes to Cox. A little shiver there against Zach Abel, but inside it goes to the tall Martin. He loses the handle, so out of bounds, turnover, Hesston. Well, Hesston turns it over. The Vikings get called for an offensive foul. No score yet. After each has a possession, here's Zach Abel in the backcourt against Nebel. He'll bring it up slowly and into the front court. Each side it goes to Hebel. Hebel gets a screen from Weldy. Over it goes to Adams. Over to Zach Abel right in front of the Hesston bench. Abel, kick out to Reinert. Reinert looked at a three, didn't trigger. Still on the dribble. Kicks it off to Abel. They'll reset the offense. Reinert inside to Weldy at the blocks in the lane. And pass underneath to Hebel. Good. Nicely done. Nice little scoop pass. And Blake Hebel gets the first points. Vikings break on top 2-0. Martin around to Nebel. Back inside to the tall Martin. Out to Cox. Cox dribble drive. Kick out. Nebel three-pointer. No. Rebound. Martin loses the handle out of bounds. Turnover. Hesston. No back-to-back turnovers on the Swathers. Check in already a substitution, number 41. I don't have him in my book yet, so I have to make sure they put in some young guys once in a while. I'll get that name for you here directly. I'll say it's a freshman, Bollinger, because he isn't even listed on the varsity.
First person on Ben Bollinger.
And that's what he said, didn't he, Bollinger on the...
Sounds right. He didn't say where he was from. Maybe he's a freshman down at Hesston College. I don't know.
Reinert has the ball knocked away, but hangs on to it. Loses dribble drive now. Kick it out to Hebel. Hebel 10-footer, too strong. Rebound Zach Abel, no. And yeah, over the top. That was a good foul on Reese Nebel. Is that on 14? Yeah, it's 41. That's going to be his second foul. So Bollinger gets in there and gets 2 quick fouls. Here's Hebel. Didn't want to shoot another one. Kicks it out to Abel. They'll reset. 2-0 Vikings here. 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. Zach Abel on the dribble drive. Kicks it off to Reinert. Reinert with the dribble spin. Inside, knocked away, stolen by Hesston. Nebel comes away with it. How did he get that without fouling? I don't know. And Nebel, Coach Snyder wanted the ball out of bounds. Here's a dribble drive and a blocking foul on Zach Abel. So Cox initiating all that contact, but Abel gets called for the foul. Cox to put it in play to Martin, around to Taves. Baseline, Cox, dribble drive, and a lot of collision again, and Zach Abel's going to pick up his second quick foul. So Zach with 2 quick fouls, third foul already on Smoky Valley. Lane Shaw gets to come in after Lane missed the last home game with a little concussion that he got in the JV game. So good to see him back on the court. Inside, kick out. Across it goes to Nebel. Nebel looked at a 3, didn't want to trigger. Reinert right there on top of him. Nebel shot, no. Rebound over the top, and they were going the other way. Reese Nebel picks up his first foul. Good out, good block out by Jake Adams. Jacob in the right place at the right time, getting wide, and Hesston yet to score here. Blake Hebel gets it into Ben Weldy. Ben in the backcourt working against Taves, and contact there, and Taves will pick up the foul. That'll be, or excuse me, that's Martin. Taves is 10, my bad. Another freshman coming in. They play so many different. Duschendorf, another freshman. Or is that? Oh, that's Unruh. Latinio Unruh. Inside to Jacob. Oh, and the Vikings throw it away. First turnover on the Vikings. Nice thing about having a big scorebook, you get to add to it. Hesston with it in the front court. Cox, dribble drive, kick out. Martin. Oh, that should be a double dribble. Unruh with the dribble drive and missing. Rebound, Jacob Adams. Good job, Jacob, on that power rebound. Here comes Reinert. Vikings still up 2-0. Reinert three-pointer, in and out, no good. Rebound, Unruh for the Swathers, secured by Cox. Here's Cox on the dribble drive, and a foul is going to be called on Schrog outside. Lane Schrog with the reach in.
Number 22's Carson Winfield in
Unruh, baseline corner. Around it goes to Taves and to Cox. Cross court, Nebel, three-pointer, long three-pointer, no. Rebound, Hesston at that long rebound. Here's Cox with a 3, no. Rebound, Reinert inside, and Nebel's going to pick up the foul. You can't ride the dribbler. And Nebel, that's a big foul because he's one of their leading scorers. He's a senior.
Number 23, Jacob Eiler in for Hesston.
And number 23, Eilert. We're on the home side. We're on the wrong side, Mike. We got a lot of traffic in and out of here.
There is a lot of traffic here, yeah.
A lot of people here. Vikings still with a 2-0 lead here. Low scoring. Here's Lane Schrog on the dribble drive. Kick out to Winholtz. Back to Schrog, baseline corner, our side. Lane with the dribble across the lane. Kick out to Weldy. Three-pointer, Ben. Perfect! Arn Reinert, CPA three-pointer by Ben Weldy. And the Vikings have a 5-0 lead.
Excellent ball movement, getting him open to where he got that look and just drained it.
Cox outside. Around it goes to Taves. Cox dribble drive at the elbow. His shot falls in. Cameron Cox with the first points for Hesston at the 3:12 mark. Here's Ben Weldy. into the front court on the dribble drive. Unruh guarding him somewhat closely. Around it goes to Schrog. Schrog looking for Adams. Ooh, he got a seal off there, but he couldn't get to him. Lane Schrog with the dribble drive. Shot up. No. Rebound Martin. Little wild shot there by Lane. Hesston with it. Kick out to Unruh. Left-handed shot on the corner. He traveled instead. Third turnover, Hesston. Vikings still up 5-2. Martin in replacing Martin. And lose a little height with that Blake Martin being at 6'6". Well, they lose some height. 2:40 left to go. First quarter action. Vikings up 5-2. Ben Weldy going to get double teamed. Goes across to Reinert. Reinert quickly working against Cox. Between the circles goes to Winholtz on the far wing. Winholtz to Ben Weldy, top of the key. Looked at another three. Didn't trigger. Been steal by Unruh. Unruh up and good. Unruh gets his first basket. Here's Reinert now. Vikings have a 3-on-2 breakaway. Up to Hebel, loses the handle. Turnover Vikings. Oops. Had a chance to increase their lead. Cox on the dribble drive. No. And it's going to be a foul on the Vikings, and Cox will have 2 free throws. A little wild helter-skelter running back and forth here.
Kevin Cox will be shooting 2 shots.
Turnovers evened up at 3 apiece now, I believe. And that's the second foul on Lane Schrog. So Schrog has 2 and Abel has 2. That free throw no good by Cox.
Number 24, Jake Adams back in for Smoky Valley. And number 22, Landon Spencer in for Hesston.
And he makes the second to tie the game up at 5-5. Reinert slowly across the timeline, picked up by Cox right at half-court line. Into Hebel. Hebel at the elbow. Off to Reinert. Reinert gets a screen from Hebel at the three-point line. Shot, no. Rebound inside Hesston. Kicking it out is number 22, Spencer. Inside, stolen by Jacob Adams. Good steal, Jacob. Another turnover, Hesston. Reinert looked at a three, didn't trigger. Into the lane, Nick Reinert up and good. Reinert gets his first basket. Here's Unruh, his shot, good. 7-7 score. Unruh's got 4. What a pickup. He moved here from from Mound Ridge. Just what a good school like Hesston needs. And there's Blake Hebel, throws it away. Wow. Too easy. Silly turnover. Happens in the game of basketball. Under a minute, 59.5 seconds left to go. Bethany on the short end of a 64-58 game against Oklahoma Wesleyan. Cox double team, gets it off to number 5, Martin, and he makes it, gives Hesston their first lead of the game. Reinert with it in the backcourt, now into the front court finally. 30 seconds left to go. Over to Hebel, looking inside for Adams, not there. Winholtz has it. Winholtz across the lane, over to Schrog. Schrog shot up and good. Lane Schrog with 2. Ties it up at 9-9. Cox, crossover dribble, elevates, shot, no. Rebound Schrog. Quickly the Vikings are going to have, if they're going to get a look. Reinert lets it go short, and our quarter ends with the score 9-9. So nothing decided after one quarter, but the advantage, in my opinion, goes to the Vikings as they keep the Swathers from scoring and running away with this game. That's what usually happens at Hesston.
Yeah, it really does. They did a nice job of getting out ahead. Defensively, they kind of fell apart a little bit there and let Hesston back into the game. But I agree. I felt like we really controlled that first quarter.
5-0 Smoky Valley lead at the 3:24 mark, and then it ends up being a 9-9 game. So they scored 9 points in a short span there. But yeah, the Vikings did a great job of defending early. Just needed to keep it up. Picking up 2 fouls, Zach Abel. He's part of the cohesiveness of the defense. Zach really plays very, very good defense for the Vikings.
Yeah, he really does. He seems to have a really good knowledge about where the ball's going to go and where he needs to be to disrupt. How are we doing on turnovers, Donnie, when you get a chance to count?
4-4.
4-4. It's even all the way around.
Yeah, yeah. Hesston has played 8. Smoky Valley has played 7. Back on the court, Zach Abel, Reinert, Weldy, Hebel, and Adams are going to go in their 1-3-1 deflect. Nebel with his 2 fouls back on the court for Hesston. Cox, Unruh, Spencer, and Martin, Blake Martin, the 6'6" Blake Martin. Around it goes Spencer, Blake Martin with it. Good defense. There's a 3-pointer, corner 3, missing. Rebound, Vikings. Reinert with the rebound. Good defensive rebound by Nick Reinert. Reinert picks up his dribble, gets it off to Weldy. Weldy with it at the elbow. Kick out, Hebel. Hebel in the middle of the lane. His shot up, too strong. Rebound, Spencer. Quickly up to Nebel. Nebel on the dribble against Zach Abel. Nebel's shot, good. He had not scored in the ballgame yet, but he gets his first one to give Hesston an 11-9 lead. 1 minute into the second quarter. Reinert off to Zach Abel. Abel with it on the dribble, out to Ben. Ben Weldy, side of the lane. Shot, and we're going to be a blocking foul on Blake Martin. He got over there too late. It was a heck of a collision. I expected to see a offensive foul there, but I think getting over there too late was Martin, according to the official. And that's his first, team 6th, actually. They have 1 more foul than the Vikings. Weldy, 5 of 6 on the year so far, misses his first one. Nebel, Cox, Martin, Unruh, and Taves on the court for Hesston. Second free throw good by Weldy. 11-10. 6:45 to go. Second quarter action. Unruh around it goes to Taves. Back to Unruh. Looking in the middle for Martin. Not there. Unruh on the dribble drive. Kick it off to Nebel. Nebel elevates. Shot. Rebound. Nebel. It's his own rebound. Around it goes to Cox. Cross court. Over to Martin. Or Unruh, excuse me. And he knocks down a 3. Unruh. An Arn Reinert CPA 3-pointer gives them a 14-10 lead. 6:12 to go. Blake Hebel on the dribble. Pulls up his dribble. Now gets it off to Reinert. Reinert dribble drive. Shot from 10. No. Rebound Blake Martin inside. The 6'6" guy over the 6'6", 6'4". Jacob Adams, kick out, baseline corner 3, no. Reinert with the rebound. Nick Reinert on the dribble, off to Zach Abel. Zach Abel, drive, shot, rolling off the edge. Taves with the rebound, quickly up to Cox. 5.5 minutes to go, Hesston by 4. Unruh, and he'll launch another 3-ball. That's way too strong. Airballed it, actually. Here comes Reinert on the left-handed dribble. Into Jacob Adams on the post. Jacob, spin move, and we're going to have a charging foul. That was a pretty good acting job by Unruh. Jacob Adams picks up his first.
First person line, Jacob Adams. Number 5, Mitchell Martin. Number 23, Jacob Adams.
14-10, still our score. Hesston on top in their ball after Adams picks up a player control foul. Vikings stay man-to-man on this possession. Here's Nebel with it outside. He's going to launch a 3-ball. No. Rebound, Jacob. Quickly up to Reinert. 5 minutes left to go until halftime. Coach John Bella may join us at halftime for a little bit. If it goes to Abel, back to Reinert, left alone, 3-ball, swish. Arn Reinert, CPA 3-point shot by Nick Reinert, 14-13. Baseline, Neville, shot, good. He's got 4, 16-13. There's Reinert, kick out, Abel, 3-ball, too strong, rebound, Hesston, breakaway by Reese Neville, and good. Reese has got 6 points in the quarter. Hesston lead is 5, 18-13, with 4:10 to go when he made the basket. Abel out top with it, on the dribble. Over it goes to Reinert, right in front of the Hesston bench. Adams, or Weldy out top, near side to Hebel. Hebel looking, there's Abel breaking open up between the circles. Over goes to Hebel, inside to Adams, loses the handle, but saved by Hebel. Abel off to Reinert. Reinert in the lane, dribble, shot up, and won't fall. Reinert looked like he got a little cramp or something there as he went in. That foul will be on Blake Martin, and that's Blake Martin's second foul. So Martin has 2, Bollinger has 2, and Nebel has 2. And Reinert misses a free throw. Very rare miss for Nick, shooting 87% for the year. Cole Brumbaugh in for the first time. Lane Schrog back in as Abel and Hebel go out. Second free throw by Reinert is good. 18-14. Hesston with the lead in the basketball. Unruh back in. He's got 7 of their 18 points. Neville's got 6. Cox on the dribble drive into the lane. Shot up too strong. Rebound over the back. Nothing called. Here comes Schrog on it. Off to Jacob Adams. His shot loses the handle, but Weldy there to save it from going out of bounds. Inside to Jacob in the lane. Shot, no. Rebound, Hesston. Martin on the rebound. Martin with the ball. Off to Cox. Off to number 10, Taves. Eilert. Dribble drive. Kick out. Knocked away, but saved by Unruh. Unruh loses the handle and tries to throw it up. It hits the bottom of the rim and rebounded by the Vikings. Vikings with a chance to cut into the lead here. They can get a basket. Reinert kick out. Brumbaugh. 3-pointer by Cole Brumbaugh is good. An Arn Reinert CPA 3-pointer. Vikings within 1, 18-17. 2:25 to go. Outside it goes to Taves. Kick out to Cox, around to Eilert. Schrog reaching in. Schrog takes a steal away. Boy, both teams have been playing very well. That's the first Hesston turnover of this half. Vikings, or of this quarter. Vikings have not had one either. Reinert on the dribble drive. Reinert to the lane. His shot, good, and 1. Good job by Nick Reinert to draw the contact. The basket's good. Vikings up by 1 now. And that foul's going to be on Mitchell Martin. That's going to be his second. Reinert with a chance for an old-fashioned 3-point play. And he misses another free throw. Wow, unusual. 1 of 3 for Reinert. 2 misses in the quarter. Vikings by 1. Martin kick it out. Cox inside to Unruh. Unruh still with it. Could have been a 5-second count there. Martin with it. Around it goes to Neville. Neville with the drive. Neville shot, miss. Rebound, Cox, good. Cameron Cox with a airborne rebound and then a putback while he's still in the air. Hesston back on top, 20-19. Schrog loses the handle. And he's going to get called for double dribble. He lost the, why is that a double dribble? He lost it, and then he picked it back up, but I think I'd have to agree with that one. And he has to give it to somebody else. He can't pick it up and dribble it again. Hesston basketball with the 1-point lead. Stolen by Reiner. Oh, they're going to say it was kicked, I guess. I didn't see what happened on that one.
I didn't see it either.
Number 22, Landon Spencer in for Hesston.
Just as long as it wasn't a foul, that's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul, but Hesston gets to maintain possession with 1 minute left to go in the first half. Spencer inside, shot, too strong, missing, rebound, Ben Weldy. Hesston kind of gave up on everything. I don't know if they thought that was going to be in, but they kind of took off down court defensively. And the Vikings didn't have any pressure. Weldy getting the rebound. Schrog out top to Reiner. Reiner left-handed dribble in the lane. Elevates, shot, no. Rebound, Hesston. Cox with it on the run. Cox quickly around Reiner. And good. Wow. Nice little dribble drive. And Cox and Reiner get tangled up, and Cox gets the foul called on him. And the Vikings will be shooting free throws. It's the 9th team foul on the Hesston Swathers. Coach Raleigh not happy with that call whatsoever. Put Nick Reiner back at the free throw line, shooting 2. 1 of 3 so far. Big story in the scoring department for Nick Reiner, who's got 8 points already, but he would be in double figures if he made all his free throws. And that one's going to be short as well.
Again, Donnie, law of averages. This just means in the second half, he's going to just put every one of them in.
No kidding.
All 15 of them.
1 of 4 from the charity stripe. 12 seconds, 10. Hesston's going to go for the last shot. Gets it to Unruh. Unruh kick out to Cox outside the 3-point line. And I don't know about that one. Nick Reiner in great position. And Cox draws the foul.
I respectfully disagree with that.
No kidding.
Official.
Yeah. Snyder also, he's over there talking to the official with a great big smile on his face. How can you take a direct hit like that and with great position and get it called a charge or a blocking foul? Should have been a charge. Cox with the free throw, perfect. He gets the and one. He was 1 of 2 earlier. He's now 2 of 3, extending their lead 23-19 as he makes them both. Reiner with it on the dribble. 2 seconds, 1 second. He's going to launch a 3-ball, hit the rim, very close to going in. And our halftime score: Hesston 24, Smoky Valley 19. We'll be put on a couple little things. We'll see if Coach Bella joins us here.
All right, we'll go ahead and run a couple of videos, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
It's from Carson Byers and the Smoky Valley Sports Network.
I'm Carson Byers here with Cole Brumbaugh and Nick Reiner, and they're going to do a 3-point contest. We're going to start with Cole. And Cole, you have 20 seconds to see how many threes you can make. Here you go.
Probably going to lose, but yeah.
Let's do it.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm the king on the microphone. So it's Dr. J and Moses Malone. I like slam dunks and taking it to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go, 'cause it's basketball of Mr. Curtis Blow.
Byers here with Ben Weldy for episode 1 of Can You Dunk. Today we're going to ask Ben, can you dunk?
Yeah, I can dunk.
All right, let's see it. Carson Byers here with Nick Reiner, and we're going to talk a little bit about the basketball season. So Nick, you opened up with a tough loss against Abilene, come back with 2 strong wins. What was different for you guys?
We really picked it up defensively. The first game, we let them score 85 points, and we've held them 50s and 40s after that, and just executing on defense.
So you got a tough game against Hesston. They always got good teams, a good rivalry between us. What do you guys need to do this game? What are some of the keys to victory?
Don't turn the ball over. Turnovers are really killer. Play some solid defense. I think they have some players that can really light it up, so we need to walk them down and just shoot well.
All right, well, thanks for your time. Good luck.
All right, Donnie, we're going to go.
Vikings 2 of 6 from the free throw line in the first half. Scored 9 points in the first quarter. They scored 10 in the second quarter. Individually, 2 points Blake Hebel, 2 points Lane Schrog, 3 points Cole Brumbaugh, 4 points Ben Weldy, and 8 points for Nick Reinert, making only 1 of 4 free throws. Ben Weldy was the other free throw shooter on 1 of 2 for Ben. For the Hesston Swathers, 2 points Mitchell Martin, 6 points Reese Nebel, 7 points Latinio Unruh, and 9 points Cameron Cox. Kind of came alive there at the last little bit. Hesston 3 out of 4 from the charity stripe, all by Cameron Cox. And they are with a 4-point lead at halftime. And Viking next action will be home. 2 home games in a row. Friday they'll be home against Halstead, and then next Tuesday they will also be at home against Haven before breaking for Christmas, and then right after the start of the new year they go to Halstead. So Halstead, kind of like this action for the Vikings, this action not counting in league action. They'll play Halstead, that will not count in league action either, and then they will start with league action. And speaking of league action, if I can get back to that sheet I printed up. Here's how the league is faring so far. Halstead boys, this is boys action. Halstead and Hillsborough both 4-0. Some of these teams playing a lot of early games. Hesston at 3-1, Larned at 3-1, Smoky Valley at 2-1. Haven at 2-2, Nickerson at 2-2, Hoisington 1-3, Kingman 1-3, and then Pratt. Now what's going on down at Pratt? Because they were in the state tournament last year, but Pratt 0-3, and
really?
Lions 0-4. So don't know what's going on down there at Pratt, but we'll face them. We face them. I think we play them at Pratt this year. Yeah. Second week of February 9th, we play Pratt at Pratt, so we'll see what's going on with their program at that point in time. I know they changed coaches in the girls because Bethany alum and from Buhler, Dustin Hildebrand is now the girls coach at Pratt, so we'll see what happens going forward from there. But again, in girls action, Smoky Valley hanging with the Hesston Swathers in the first quarter, 6-4, but then getting outscored 22-8 in that second quarter to open up a 28-12 halftime lead, and they kind of coasted then in the second half for a 54-25. But Coach Bella has to be, he's not going to be able to join us here, but he has to be fairly pleased with the way the girls played. They didn't get blown out. They were competitive, although, you know, just up and down the lineup, Hesston is a great team, but playing 3 freshmen, starting 2 freshmen tonight. Smoky Valley has a lot of promise coming up in their girls program, so
they really do. And just to add on to that, being a father of an 8th grade girl, I can tell you we have very competitive girls coming up. Between the 8th graders and the freshmen coming up, the league needs to look out. So we had our first loss last night at Nickerson.
The 8th graders did?
8th grade girls lost last night in overtime. So it was a close game. It was well fought, well coached on both sides. The Nickerson just came out just a little bit ahead. So it's going to be a lot of fun in the next few years.
Who's coaching girls in middle school?
Jeremy Elseth.
Okay.
Jeremy Elseth.
Okay.
So, and Kimmy Linshield. So, but Kimmy's been helping out, and both of them are great. They've been doing a really great job with those kids. So, 7th graders are extremely competitive. They've lost a couple. I can't remember how many the 7th grade lost, but the bench is so deep for 7th and 8th grade. It's just pretty amazing. So there's some good stuff coming up. There's good stuff already this season. I mean, for our high school girls. So we just continue to see glimmers from them. We know that they can do it. It's just getting over that hump a little bit and making it happen. So
learning how to win is important. So getting their feet wet, getting some victories in the middle school is an important thing. As you can see, these freshman girls coming in here contributing already, and a good job. Briefly, let's talk about your setup here, Mike. You talk about you got one camera that's showing the scoreboard. You got one camera that's pointing out over the court and follows the action a little bit.
Yeah.
How does my voice get into the video?
Well, normally at home games, all I do is I plug a radio into the camera. If you listen to the broadcast on YouTube, you can hear the static on the radio sometimes. But today, what we've done is we've plugged into what you normally use for your microphones. I've plugged an input into that and got that plugged into the camera. So that's how we're getting the audio into this, and that's all running into the computer, and the computer's doing some math and sending it out to YouTube, and then everybody at home can watch.
How many watchers, viewers do we have now?
Right now, it looks like we've got about 29.
29.
So we had about the same for the girls at the end of it.
Good.
So
good.
Again, we miss them all. Wish they were
absolutely.
Here. But I am glad that they can join in. So that's kind of the point of all this. So everybody can kind of stay connected. I started doing this for my family, and so they could stay connected as they moved around the state, and we moved around, and just kind of grew into this. So
well, and it's really encouraging because during the football season, when we were playoff, I got a text from Darren Birch. He was in Hawaii listening to it. It doesn't matter where you are. During the state basketball tournament, I got a text from Todd Dieterding. He was flying 35,000 feet over the country on his flight, so it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. I've gotten some really good stories, and just a quick shout out to our board, because Todd's on the board, but also our superintendent for making this possible, because they all support this, and this wouldn't happen without them.
Oh,
so be sure to thank them. If you are listening, thank Glenn Supis and the Board of Education for USD 400.
Some scores real quickly before we start the second half. Vikings will start with the ball. South over Hutch, 30-28. Mac over Abilene, 52-15. Salina Central leads Derby 35-24. So a few halftime scores for you. Here we are. Vikings trail by 5. Vikings will start with Blake Hebel and Reinert and Adams and Abel and Weldy. Abel picked up those first 2 early fouls and played the rest of the half without picking up his third. Hebel with it now on our side on the wing. Gets it off to Reinert. First possession for Smoky Valley in this third quarter. Off to Hebel. Hebel with the dribble against number 10, Grady Taves. Off it goes to Reinert. Reinert guarded closely. Give and go. Reinert in the lane. Kick out Weldy. Three-pointer baseline. No. Rebound Hebel. And there's a foul. Reach in. Taves ended up hanging on to Blake Hebel's arm. Vikings ball out of bounds. First foul on either team in this half. Reinert gets it into Weldy. Weldy back to Reinert. Three-pointer baseline corner. Too strong. Rebound Nebel. Trying to get a streaking Taves, but he can't get to him. Kick out to Blake Martin. Back to Nebel. They'll reset. Over in the corner to Cox, their leading scorer in the first half. Taves out to Neville. Neville at the free throw line, elevates, shot, missing, rebound. Adams and Martin get tied up, and on alternating possession, it'll stay with the Swathers as the Vikings got the first possession of the second half. So Hesston's ball underneath their own basket. Turnovers were 6 and 6. They were 4 and 4 at the end of the first quarter. There's a three-pointer baseline swish. Arn Reinert CPA three-pointer by Cameron Cox, and he's got 12 points. Cox airborne and really swishing that one. Reinert with it right in front of the Viking bench. They're up by 8 now. Inside to Adams, Jacob Adams at the blocks, off to Abel. Abel kick out to Hebel. Hebel turned it over, no, saved by Adams. Baseline to Hebel. On the blocks, good defense. Hesston gets it out to Reinert to reset. 2 minutes gone in this quarter. Vikings yet to score. And a silly foul by the big guy. Blake Martin picks up his third. So first player in the game to get 3 fouls. And Bollinger, who got 2 quick fouls when he came in, and Unruh, who hasn't fouled yet, back in for the Swathers. Abel with it on the dribble. Oh, Reinert wanted it a little quicker. Here's Reinert on the dribble drive, baseline, off to Adams. Adams out to Abel. Top of the key, drive in the lane. Now kick back out to Weldy. Weldy with it. Inside to Adams. He's triple teamed. Off to Hebel. His shot up. No. Rebound loose. Picked up by Hebel. Saved it.
Oh, great save.
To Weldy. Great effort by Blake Hebel. Here's Abel. And he turns it over. Quickly the other way is Reese Neville. Stops. Great stop.
Good control on that.
Very, very nice. A 10-point lead. 29 to 19. Vikings off with a out of point here in the third quarter. Hesston's got 5. A 10-point lead now after being up by 5 at the half. Mini 5-0 run to extend it to 10. Baseline to Adams. Adams looking in and steal. Oh man, Neville picked up that one. Stole it in the passing lane. Here's Cox. Here's Unruh. Looking for Neville. Now goes to Taves. Back to Cox, who buried a 3 earlier. Another 3. Another bury. Back-to-back 3. Arn Reinert CPA three-pointer. It's an 8-0 run by the Swathers to open up the half. And Coach Snyder wants a timeout as the Vikings take a 30-second timeout. Got a couple more scores here to pass along to you. Minneapolis trails by 1 point to Ellsworth at the half. End of the first quarter. El Saline 12, Ellenwood 8 in boys action. Quick timeout for the Vikings to settle things down. Lane Schrag has checked in. Carson Winholtz has checked in. Hebel and Abel out. Sure, it's driving Brett Heitschmidt a little crazy that he can't get into the ball game. Got a little soreness in his tendons around his knee, so hopefully he'll be back and able. Oh, and there's a reach over. Wow, why isn't that a foul? That was a reach over by Bollinger over the top of Weldy. Weldy just needs to get a little bigger right there. Another turnover. So Vikings with 3 turnovers on 3 possessions. Hesston with a 2 and 2 threes in their 3 possessions to start this second half. Halfway through the third quarter now. Cox out top with the ball. Bollinger with it. Bounce pass inside to Unruh. Unruh shot tied up. Oh. And a great defense, Jacob Adams. That goes as a turnover on Hesston as Jacob went up with his hands and grabbed the ball. No question from Coach Greg Raleigh. He knew that that was a great effort by Jacob Adams. Lane Schrog on the dribble, working against Reese Neville. Schrog still on the dribble, and have to get rid of it, and does. Gets it off to Ben Weldy. Bollinger took it away from him a minute ago. Vikings just look a little sluggish in their ball handling. I don't know if it's Hesston defense is that good, or we just a little bit slow here. Winholtz with it. Off to Reinert it goes, right by the Viking bench. Looked at a three, didn't trigger. I was going to say, there's a lot of contact going on there.
I tend to agree with the call.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Cox, you can't body up that hard on defense.
Even with your arms up in the air, you can't push them around like that.
It was kind of a good break for the Vikings, because Nick, if he would have got called for that foul, would have picked up his third foul. So Jacob Adams with it outside. Gets it off to Reinert. Gets a screen from Adams. Nick on the dribble drive. Pauses, accelerates. Has the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Vikings. Reinert to put it in play. 3 minutes exactly left, third quarter. Vikings yet to score in this quarter. The Vikings, I didn't think they'd have trouble scoring. They are shut out. Here's a Reinert three-pointer. It breaks the tie, and Arn Reinert, or breaks the scoring drought. An Arn Reinert CPA three-pointer by Nick Reinert. Off it goes to Unruh. Over Taves. Cox looking for a cutting Eilert, who checked in a moment ago. Unruh still on the dribble. Unruh double teamed in the baseline. Kick it out to Bollinger. Bollinger dribble drive in the lane. Got it to go. Where do they get these guys that are so good as a freshman? Bollinger is a freshman, I believe.
Again, Hesston College, I think, is where they.
Yeah. Carson Winholtz to Adams, near side to Schrog. Schrog still on the dribble to Weldy. Three, no. Rebound Unruh. 2 minutes left to go. Vikings trail 34-22. Nebel on the dribble drive, or excuse me, that's Taves. Inside to Unruh, knocked away, but right to Cox on the dribble drive. Cox scores another one. He's got 17 points to lead the whole game in scoring. There's Reinert over to Schrog, looking for Adams inside. Reinert inside to Adams. Adams shot up, too strong. Weldy with the rebound. Weldy strong up and fouled, and Weldy will be at the free throw line. Unruh looked like he came down on top of one of the Vikings' feet there. Gets up a little gingerly. That foul is going to be on Bellinger, his third. Weldy at the free throw line to shoot two. Good.
Number 5, Mitchell Martin. 24, Blake Martin. 14, Mason
Martin Nebel, and
number 23, Blake
Spencer.
They did a whole lot of substituting.
Yeah. And for the Vikings, Blake Hebel back in. Adams out. Second Weldy free throw good. He's now 3 out of 4, so he's corrected his free throw shooting. Oh, and a reach in by Carson Winholtz.
First personal on Carson Winholtz.
They're changing some money over here right in front of us, Mike. You notice that?
I have noticed that. I don't know what's going on. So far, I've only seen money, and that's all.
Yeah. The Hesston section here we're sitting in. We're at the very top. Here's Nebel with a three. Gosh.
Wow.
Arn Reinert, CPA three-pointer, his first of the game. His teammate Cox has 2, all in this quarter. They've opened up a 15-point lead, 39-24. With a minute left, there's a drive by Reinert missing. Around it goes Neville. They'll probably hold for the last shot. Around it goes to Spencer. Back to Neville. Carson Winholtz on him. And timeout, Hesston. You want to talk about it? Rare timeout with just 16 seconds left to go, but Coach Raleigh wanting to call a play and run a play here, so good utilization of a timeout. They don't have keep track of timeouts on their scoreboard. They got everything else on the scoreboard. They could just as well have timeouts.
Missing the timeout. So was that a full? I didn't catch it.
No, it was a 30.
30, okay.
Back on the radio Friday night at home against Halstead. Game time will be roughly 6 o'clock for the girls, followed by boys action.
Oh, and Donnie, on that Friday, if I could interrupt.
Yep.
It is the all-band day between the girls and the boys game. So they are going to have every student that can play an instrument out on the floor playing pep band. It's pretty awesome. They did it last year. It's good stuff.
Between games?
Between games,
okay.
Yes.
I remember when they did that. Here's Cox with a three. Another three, his third of the quarter. And it's an 18-point, 42-24 lead. What a quarter for the Hesston Swathers as they got hot from beyond the arc.
Oops, not the final, guys. Sorry about that. End of the third.
Vikings with only 5 points in that quarter for 24. Hesston with 18. They outscored the Vikings by 13 in that quarter. So Hesston finding their range, their shooting touch, draining three after three after three. 4 Arn Reinert CPA three-pointers in that quarter. So Hesston getting hot from beyond the arc. I'm going to add that score to my total here.
Well, hopefully we can figure out how to shut down that perimeter shooting and maybe turn on some perimeter shooting of our own. That would be nice. Get some good penetration, if not, and get the ball in the bucket.
First possession goes to Hesston after hitting that three. They go to Hesston again to start the fourth quarter. Martin with it inside to Unruh. Wow. And a foul. Unruh missed a point-blank shot, but he will be. Oh, it's offensive foul on Unruh. I thought.
Oh, yeah, that's why the crowd's getting anxious.
Yeah,
okay.
I couldn't figure out what they were complaining about. I'm going to keep the full court pressure on the Vikings. We haven't made enough baskets to see their press much. Get it into Reinert's going to get a little rest. It's for the quarter now. It's Lane Schrog, Zach Abel, Carson Winholtz, Blake Hebel, and a travel. Wasn't pushed at all, was he?
Well.
Now the Vikings with 10 turnovers after 3 quarters. Well, that was another one. That's the 11th turnover for the Vikings, trailing 42-24. Unruh on the dribble drive. Unruh got trouble. Yeah, I thought he shuffled his feet. So turnover Hesston. That's their 9th. Well, not so far behind on turnovers, but. They're sure capitalizing on their possessions. Nobody touched it. Vikings tried to get it inbound, throwing it to Blake Hebel. Blake Hebel either touched it, no, neither one of them touched it, so they're going back to where they threw it in, so that's another Viking turnover.
If it had been 2 months ago, though, that had been pass interference.
Yeah, no kidding. It could have been a foul on that play. Hebel knocks that one out of bounds for the Vikings. It'll stay with the Swathers. Fourth quarter, 7:23 left to go. Fast-paced games here tonight.
Number 9, Zach Abel.
Cox trying to get in, and finally does. He'll throw it back court, which is okay. Martin runs back to get it for the Swathers. Carson Winholtz right on top of him. Vikings certainly destroyed the Swathers in football action. Unruh with the travel before he took off on the drive, got on the drive and then got fouled.
Second and first one, Jacob Adams.
The Jacob Adams' second foul.
Antonio Unruh will be shooting 2 shots.
Unruh now at the free throw line to shoot 2, I guess. First one up and no good.
Number 11, Cole Brumbaugh for Smoky Valley.
And he misses them both. Neither team has scored here in the fourth quarter. 1 minute gone. Vikings able with the ball on the dribble. And we're going to have a blocking foul on Reese Nibble. He got his second foul early, second quarter. And has yet to foul until now, so he picks up his third.
Hopefully we can get some of these guys into foul trouble and keep them on the bench.
And they have to start scoring early and often. Reinert still looking to get it in. Now to Jacob right in the lane, off to Reinert. Nick Reinert will drive the lane. Shot up and good. Nick has got 13 points for the Vikings. Around it goes to Unruh. Looked at a 3, didn't trigger. Out top to Spencer. Around it goes to Cox. Cox is their leading scorer with 20 points tonight so far. Unruh out top. Shuffled his feet. That was a travel. You can't split both your feet and take off without dribbling. There's Nebel in the lane. Good defense. Reinert.
3 in the key would be nice there.
And a rebound. Vikings come away with it. Reinert on the dribble, head up, looking for somebody open. Instead, he shoots a 3. No. Rebound. Bollinger for the Swathers. To Spencer. Into the front court to Cox. To Unruh. Looked at a 3 again, but Jacob there to close out. Good defense, Adams. Here's Neville on the drive. Short. Rebound, Vikings. Good rebound, Blake Hebel, and a reach in on Neville. And it's his fourth.
4, yeah.
Fourth personal on number 10, Grady Teagues back in for Hesston.
Guess I'm pronouncing it wrong. I heard the PA guy say Nebel. Nebel.
Potato.
Yeah. 5:49 left to go. Vikings 26. And Hebel misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Vikings not shooting free throws very well tonight. Just 2 of 6 in the first half. They did make 2 of 2 in the third quarter. Unruh with it at the blocks, or at the elbow, excuse me. Top Spencer 3. Finally, they missed the 3. And rebound loose on the floor, still loose. And tie up, it'll be Viking basketball. A little hot down there on the court. Or chippy, as they call it. A halftime score. El Saline 28. Whoever they're playing. 20. Ellenwood. Viking basketball trailing by 16, 42-26. Need a big fourth quarter. And 3 minutes are almost already gone in the quarter. Here's Weldy into Adams. His shot up and good. Jacob loves that left side. At 18 points the other night, he is certainly, that's his first points of the night.
Yep.
Wow.
They've been doing a good job of keeping him clogged up.
They've emphasized the defense on him. No question about that. Bollinger. And we're going to have a foul on Ben Weldy. Good defense by Ben. That's only Ben's first foul.
First personal line, Ben Weldy. Number 24.
4:43 left to go, fourth quarter action. 28-42. Vikings have 18 points was the biggest lead for Hesston at the quarter. And the Vikings steal the ball. Good steal, Smoky Valley. Zach Abel on the steal with the dribble off to Cole Brumbaugh. Cole with it off to Zach. Around to Ben. Looking for Jacob at the blocks, has him. Jacob got away with a little push there. There's Reinert. Looked at a three. Cox right there to guard him. Reinert with the dribble. Still with the dribble. Still with the dribble. Off it goes to Weldy. He'll launch a three. It's good. Ben Weldy with an Arn Reinert CPA. One in the first and one in the fourth. Vikings within 11. 31-42. 4 minutes left to go. Drive by Spencer, up and missing. Blake Martin with the rebound, and we're going to have, oh my, that wasn't a shot. That foul was on the rebound. What are you giving him free throws for?
Blake Martin will be shooting 2 shots.
Yeah, that was on the floor.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
And he takes advantage. That's his first at 6'6". That's his first points of the night. Wow. Missing the second. Weldy clears out the nice rebound. Here comes Abel into the front court. Vikings down by a dozen. Reinert with it. Guarded by Cox. Reinert still on the dribble. Off to Jacob. Jacob with it. In there and missing. Rebound.
Over
Vikings
the back
come away with it. Yeah. And it's going to be Viking ball underneath their own basket. 3:26 left to go. It's going to be free throws for Cole Brumbaugh. Cole had a three in the second quarter.
Cole Brumbaugh will be shooting a 1 and 1.
Wow, Mac is crushing Abilene. 70-25.
Oh my goodness.
They are good.
They must be
Mac
good.
is good, but Hesston or Abilene has scored. He scored 85 against us. You know, they're fairly good.
Yeah, they're
But
better than decent.
matchup. Cole makes both free throws. He's got 5 points. Vikings have cut it to 10 from 18 to 10. Encouraging second half here for the Vikings after giving up 18-5 in that third quarter. They've put on a clinic here. Hesston with only 1 point in this quarter. There's Blake Martin, kick over to Spencer. Spencer with it to Unruh. Unruh looking now, dribble. Off it goes to Taves. Blake Martin, baseline blocks. And Blake Martin's going to get called for the travel. Third turnover of the quarter for the Swathers.
Number 5, Zach Abel.
Abel back in and Hebel out. Adams, Weldy, Reinert, Brumbaugh, and Abel on the court for the Vikings. Have to pick up the pace here, which Nick does. Off to Jacob, back to Nick at the free throw line. Brumbaugh, another three. It's good. Arn Reinert CPA three-pointer by Cole Brumbaugh, his second of the ball game. And it's now 43-36. 2:45 to go. Vikings force Hesston to call a timeout and talk it over.
It's a full timeout, Donnie. Can we go ahead and cut over?
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
Here's another video from Carson Byers and the SV Sports Network.
It's tied up 2-2. Nick's got 2. Cole's got 2. Ben Weldy has 2. So the Vikings have hit 6 from beyond the arc. And they've closed the gap to 7 points. Encouraging. How long will we stay live? Doug Snyder was wondering if he had a chance to come up here after the game. Will we stay?
We're here until they ask us to leave. Okay. So
I told him if he peeks out and I give him a thumbs up, then he'll come up and join us. So he'll be excited to come up and talk about whether they win or lose. They'll talk about how encouraging this fourth quarter was. Hesston ball, Neville with it. He's got 4 fouls, so he has to be careful. Oh, he drove right through a double team, and then they turn it over. Here come the Vikings. Reinert with it on the dribble. Cox picks him up to make sure he doesn't launch a long-range 3. Over it goes to Abel, inside to Adams. Adams up, and oh, he missed a point-blank chippy. Got a little too far under the basket on his jump stop. Unruh with it for the Swathers. Over it goes, a travel by Bollinger. A block by, oh, Ben Weldy. Got bailed out. Bollinger got, they're splitting their feet when they take off. When they have both feet on the ground, you cannot split your feet and take off. And they've done that 3 or 4 times. And then he gets bailed out with a, and now he airballs the free throw. So. See, it wasn't what it should be when you airball a free throw.
That's right. Yep. Karma right there.
And he misses the second, so he missed them both. Good foul by Ben Weldy. That's Ben's second foul. Reinert on the dribble, still with the dribble. Off it goes to Zach. Oh, he wanted to trigger a 3, but didn't. Reinert loses the handle. Off it goes to Ben Weldy. Ben with it. He'll launch a 3 ball. In and out. No good. Rebound Nibble. And a reach in by Nick. That's a foul. That's okay. Put the Swathers on the free throw line, but maybe not in the person of Reese Nibble. That's Reinert's 3rd foul. That's Reinert's 4th foul.
4th foul, yes.
And Neville makes the free throw for his 12th point.
Is he the 2nd leading scorer on the right now for Hesston?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He makes them both. Good free throw shooting by him. That's his first 2 of the night. Make it back to a 9-point lead for the Swathers. Off it goes to Cole Brumbaugh. Off to Nick, his 3-pointer.
Oh my.
How did that not go in? Jacob Adams underneath with the ball on the rebound. That went around and around. Here's Reinert, 3-pointer. Swish! Arn Reinert, CPA 3-pointer by Nick Reinert. Full timeout by Smoky Valley with 1:13 left to go.
I've got one more video if you want me to go ahead and run that now.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hello Viking fans, I'm Carson Byers here to give you a quick rundown of upcoming events going on at Smoky Valley. Friday, December 15th, the basketball teams will be back home to face off against the Halstead Dragons. If you are attending, action starts at 4:30 with the boys and girls JV games. But if you can't make it, tune in right here at live.smokeyvalley.org to watch both the varsity girls game starting around 6 and the varsity boys game starting around 7:30. This will be the 5th game of the season for the Viking basketball teams. Also going on Friday night, the JV wrestling squad travels to Abilene. The meet will start at 5, and then the next morning, the varsity wrestling team heads to Abilene for a meet starting at 10 a.m. There you have it. That's all the events we've got going on this week in the Valley.
Hesston ball after the Viking 3-pointer to get it into Cox. Cox with it on the transition up into the front court, and a reach-in foul on Carson Winholtz. Carson will pick up his first foul, 8th team foul. And they say that's Carson's 2nd foul, so I must have missed one somewhere.
42 Ben Weldy in for Smoky Valley. Cameron Cox will be shooting 1 and 1.
1 and 1 for Cameron Cox, who is like Mr. Offense tonight. Got a couple of updates on score. Kansas Wesleyan 39, Friends 37 at halftime from where that game is, if it's in Wichita or Salina. Makes them both back to an 8-point lead. Vikings got as close as 6 there. Reinert on the dribble drive. Still with the dribble off inside to Ben Weldy. His shot up and good. Nicely done by Ben Weldy.
It was a great pass.
Vikings will call another timeout, a 30-second timeout. Vikings had 24 at the end of the third quarter. They have 41 now. Hesston had 42 at the end of the third quarter. They have 47. And they've made all 5 of their points have come from the free throw line. So the Vikings have been defending very, very well. The Vikings have 3 threes, 3 twos, and 3 free throws. 3 out of 4 from the charity stripe. Can we get it down in the 54 seconds?
I think we can.
I think we can. We'll see what happens here.
It's very possible.
Can't get beat on the deep court pass to get it into Reese Nebel. Working against Winholtz. Oh, good job, Carson. Nebel still in the backcourt, and there's a foul on. That's okay. Blake Hebel trying for the steal. That is okay. That's the 9th team foul on the Vikings. That's Blake's first. Blake's a hard-nosed player. I like Blake Hebel.
Yeah, he really leaves it all out there, doesn't he?
Boy, he does. Rotational offense for defense substitution for the Vikings. Weldy and Brumbaugh and Reinert back in. Unruh missed 2 a little bit ago, and he misses the front end of that 1-and-1. Good opening for the Vikings here, but you got to score points. Off to Reinert. Reinert. 3-pointer, no. Rebound, Unruh. Wow. Oh,
rebound.
and a mighty, goodness sakes, what a collision, and that'll be it for Nick Reinert. And that'll be, Nick doesn't foul out of very many games, but that'll be 5 fouls on Nick Reinert.
How do you do on points, Donnie?
17. Now they got 16 up there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 and 8, 16, yep.
Number 10, Lane Schraub in for Smoky Valley.
And that's the 10th team foul, so double bonus for free throws now. Unruh at the charity stripe. And he calmly makes, after missing 3 in a row, calmly swishes that one. And they haven't really been close. Back to a 7-point lead. And he missed that one, so makes 1 out of 5. He's Abel with it. Abel on the dribble drive. Shot up. No. Too strong. Rebound. Bollinger. And we're going to have a jump ball and alternating possession. It'll go to Hesston. 20 seconds left. Just haven't been able to get something to fall.
22, Carson Winholtz, and 23, Blake Hebel in for Smoky Valley.
Got their little guys in there now. Abel, Shrug, Brumbaugh, Winholtz, and Hebel. Got a foul, guys. And a timeout by Hesston. 30-second timeout as they're trying to get the... Thought they would have trapped and tried to steal the ball from the freshman there on the corner, but they didn't pressure him as much as I thought they would. Out of the timeout, Hesston will have to stay put. Unruh won't be able to move this time. They get it into Cox. Cox guarded by Winholtz right away. And still trying to get it away and get it off. And there's a collision between Abel and Nebel. And that'll be Zach Abel's third foul. 2 free throws for Reese Nebel, who just made 2 a moment ago. Hesston's going to go without a field goal in this fourth quarter, but they're icing this game at the free throw line.
42 Ben Lovely for Smoky Valley.
Weldy and Adams back in for Smoky Valley. Nebel makes them both 50-41, a 9-point Hesston lead. Abel with the drive, gets the lay. Oh, and he misses a point-blank layup. Jacob Adams gets the rebound. Kick out the Brumball. Too little, too late. Final from Hesston. Hesston 50, Smoky Valley 41. I'll total up these points here, and then hopefully we'll get a chance to talk with Coach Doug Snyder.
While we're waiting here, I just wanted to say thank you to the Hesston High School for their help in getting all this set up, because I contacted their athletic director and their tech director and get proper network, cabling network up here. So we didn't have to do all this over wireless. So they were extremely accommodating, and I am very appreciative for this. So many, many thanks to the Hesston administration for letting us do this.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, when these teams and these schools, when they're not competing on the athletic field, the baseball diamond, the football field, the basketball court, our league gets along with the administration and teachers and staff and everything. It's an incredible cooperation, I think.
Oh yes, absolutely. The camaraderie between all the administrators and teachers and coaches, it's just great. So it's a wonderful environment for athletics and academics both ways across our league. So. You're hearing the banging. It's not gunshots, it's bleacher seats being put down.
Oh, the bleacher, yeah. They've got chairbacks on the first half of this home side with reserved name tags on them, so that's kind of interesting. I suppose they probably pay something for that. I don't know that for sure.
Well, considering they've got laminated names on them, I would say that, yeah, they probably pay.
Let's do a recap of scoring. The Vikings, third quarter, seemed to do them in tonight. They were down by 5 at halftime, and Hesston came out with a 5-0 run to start and got his head by as many as 18 points before the Vikings started chipping away. 42-24 after 3 quarters, and the Vikings outscored Hesston by the score of 17-8 in that fourth quarter, getting as close as 6. Ended up losing by 9, but encouraging second half for the boys, and being without their leading scorer, that's certainly something to look forward to when the rematch comes along in February back at Smoky Valley Gym. Scoring tonight, 2 points for Mitchell Martin, 1 point for Blake Martin, 2 points for Ben Bollinger, 8 points for Latinio Unruh, and then in double figures, 15 for Reese Nebel and 22 points for Cameron Cox. For the Vikings, 2 points Lane Schrag, 2 points Blake Keeble, 2 points Jacob Adams. That hurt the Vikings a little bit, but they were certainly keeping track of Jacob Adams inside there, not wanting him to get open. First time scoring a lot of points and not getting in double figures, but a great night for Cole Brumbaugh. He had 8 points on 2 threes and a couple of free throws, so his contribution in the fourth quarter was 5 points, so very good night for Cole. And then in double figures, 11 for Ben Weldy and 16 for Nick Reinert. So we certainly hope that Brett Heitschmidt will be back, missing his second game in a row with some soreness around his knee, and hopefully he'll come along and feel a little bit better. But Vikings fall tonight to the Swathers by the score of 50-41, and we'll take your headset off when Coach Schneider gets up here if we could.
Yep.
It's a long trek up here from the...
We are in the nosebleeds.
Yeah, we're in the nosebleed section on the opposite side of the field too, so grab that for him. And now joining us, Coach Doug Snyder. In the third quarter seemed to be the bugaboo. They've got hot from beyond the arc, 4 threes and a couple of 2s, 18 points to 5 points in that third quarter, and it just seemed like everything they threw up, and it didn't matter where they threw it up from, it was going to go in.
Yeah, we didn't execute offensively as well as I would have liked, and like you said, they hit a number of shots that they hadn't been hitting in the first half. We weren't sure how great of a three-point shooter Cox was, but I think he hit 3 of them in that third quarter. Is that right?
Yep.
So he was a little bit better than what we expected, being able to shoot it. But a couple of those were wide open. We overcommitted on some plays, and then our last play of the quarter, we got sealed inside on a seal play, and we let a guy be wide open in the corner and hit a 3. And that was a learning point for us. We talked about it right afterwards, and something we have addressed, but I think sometimes when you see it in action, it makes more sense, and I think they saw that a little bit better, so hopefully we learned from that one. But I was pleased with our guys' effort tonight. I thought, like I said, third quarter, I thought our offense got stagnant. I thought they did some things more aggressive. I thought our inside game really disappeared in the third quarter. I think we could have really tried to get the ball inside more, and I tried to talk to our posts about that, about forcing the ball inside. You get to that dilemma where how many timeouts do you want to use early, knowing that maybe you can make a comeback late and you might need some of those. So we were trying to hold a few, we were trying to take a few, and unfortunately that lead burst out a little bit on us. But like I said, I was extremely pleased with our effort. I thought, again, knowing that we had one of our top scorers still not playing tonight, I still thought we competed pretty hard. I thought our guys that stepped on the court did a great job. The big difference we talked about in the locker room after the game were the point-blank shots and the free throws that we missed.
Yeah.
You and I talked about it today at Quarterback Club, that we were shooting 81% from the free throw line. I don't think we were anywhere near that in this game.
Well, no, we weren't. We didn't shoot as many, although 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter, so you didn't shoot many, and 2 of 2 in the third quarter, so the second half was better. But Nick only 1 of 4 from the charity stripe in the first half. That certainly has.
And I think that 1 3 that you mentioned too was a 1-and-1 also. So we had a chance to get 2 free throws out of that 1 miss and miss the front end. But we missed. It was the difference, I thought, with the free throws we missed and the points we left hanging in the paint, because we got to the rim a few times. We got where we could finish plays. Even was indicative in the last 2 plays. We get Jacob right at the rim and miss. We get Zach right to the rim and miss. So there were a lot of points we left that we probably normally would hit. Nick was not nearly as on as we normally would expect Nick to be on, but he's having to play a lot of minutes, especially against teams that pressure a lot, and we knew they were going to pressure a lot. So we knew we couldn't get him out very much. But, hats off to a number of guys. Nick, I thought, competed extremely well defensively and did things that we needed him to be able to do and was strong with the ball. I thought Cole Brumbaugh did a nice job stepping up and hitting shots. That's why we brought Cole in, was to shoot the 3 ball. We knew he could spot up and hit shots, and we wanted him to be confident about doing it, and he has been on the JV level. So, he replaces at least a little bit of an element of what Brett can give us by spotting up and shooting the 3. He's not the same as Brett, but he gives us another option. Blake Hebel's effort again was phenomenal.
Great.
And again, I really thought our posts did a pretty nice job on their posts. I thought Jacob and Ben defended well and played hard. I'm not the least bit disappointed with how we played. I just felt like there were stretches in there we need to play better.
Yep, absolutely. And you got to look forward to turning around and having a Halstead team in that's off to a pretty good start this year, and you never know what to expect from them.
No, and like I said, hopefully we played a very good basketball team tonight. Again, we know Hesston is ranked top 5 in the state in 3A. We knew it would be a battle coming into their place. I thought we did some things that will make us better. I thought we did some things that we know could be some things that we need to improve upon. But you're right, Halstead on Friday. We've got to bring the same kind of effort and mentality into a Halstead team that we brought tonight and not take a step backwards. We've got to take care of business on our home court, be able to do what we are capable of doing, get healthy between now and then, at least the most we can. I'm sure we have some bumps and bruises tonight, but be ready to go Friday, and like you said, play another league school that's having a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah, and there was certainly some big collisions out there on someone trying to steal those balls. So, yeah, we hope Nick and Zach will come out of this okay, and maybe Brett will get back. So we'll talk to you Friday.
All right, thanks to you and Mike for putting this together tonight. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
We had some listeners, and we're glad to be here.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. And any final comments you want to make, Mike, on what you've done here tonight? And again, the Vikings lose a pair here tonight. The girls dropping a 54-25 score, and the Viking boys varsity losing 50-41.
It was hard fought on both ends. I wish it would have ended up the other way around, but great games. Saw some really good stuff, and I am extremely hopeful for the rest of the season.
There you go. Sounds like a plan. Thanks for being here, and we'll do this again Friday, only you'll be picking it up off the radio instead of doing it just on the internet.
Yeah, that is one point I wanted to make. This has been a little bit weird because usually you are in my ear, but now I can talk back at you. So this has been kind of nice. And I just had you on camera with you and Doug there, and I got to say, you got a face for radio.
There you go.
So,
that's exactly right. Especially the side view. It's not good.
That was your best side, Donnie.
There you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
That'll wrap up our broadcast. Thanks for listening. And again, we'll be back at home on Friday night with the Halstead Dragons, and see if I got a couple of scores here. I was hoping Bethany won't be over as of yet with the men, but I was hoping to at least get a update on a score. But there is none. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening, everyone. Talk to you on Friday.